oh gosh, I can't remember how the poem went, the beginning lines, but it had that line about it's like sort of like the touch of the lover or the beloved, where all is given and nothing is held back. I think it was the all is given and nothing is held back. Sometimes as a preacher I think, is it enough if people remember a concrete example or an image which helps them hold something that's essentially mysterious or that we think is really hard to talk about? For example, that using the Harwood poem, where all is given and nothing is held back, for me is an image of cross, of God's loving of humanity on the cross where all is given, and the holding of nothing back. So that for me is an image of that faith story, reality. What I thought of then, and I think has really shaped me as in my own faith, but saw the power of forgiveness at work. That when people actually took seriously the call to forgive, to be reconciled, to work hard at that, because it's not an easy thing, I don't think, forgiveness, you know, and it jumps up and bites you, doesn't it? You think oh, I'm over that, and then there it is again. You go, oh, bother, you know, that sort of thought. Thought we dealt with that, but no, we haven't. Here it is. There's another wave, another way in which the sort of need to both offer yourself, I think, into God's love, to be big enough within yourself to be forgiving, and to see that in the context of what it is that God has offered. And it's back to that thing about where all is given and nothing is held back. Sometimes in life, when things happen to us, or we are disappointed because it has not worked as we have expected.
But is that in your life?
Oh yeah, that's in everybody's life, isn't it? This is real life. This isn't pretend life, this is real life. And who do you know who's unscathed? I guess that my experience of God was an experience in which I was helped to see what might be possible, and that at the end of the day, I heard recently that's what baby boomers say all the time. Oh gosh, one of the great baby boomer phrases, at the end of the day. The last resort. I think that I believe, I know, I think, I'm sure that forgiveness and loving are the only things that help bring transformation. Bitterness doesn't do it. Hatred doesn't do it. Nursing disappointments forever doesn't do it. Those things don't bring life and hope and health and freedom and a largeness. And if you have from your own perspective, if you're able to sort of, you know, kind of grow your capacity to love, then that touches the world as you touch the world. And I, you know, I wish, I pray, I'd like to have more of that. So I would say that what I have learnt is that the forgiveness of, or the mercy of God, well, let me put it a different way, that the judgment of God is the mercy of God. And that it can be a very, very tough thing to allow. Because I think that it would be easier for us if the judgment of God were the sort of, the anger, the wrath. So if the judgment of God is the mercy of God, if you seek forgiveness, if you ask forgiveness, if you receive that, then it actually means about doing that 180-degree turn. And it's the turning where the judgment is, because it's that walking through your own life in a different way, coming to the point where you can forgive yourself, where you can actually change your behaviours, where you can allow that you are more than you ever dared to believe, where you can allow that you are in fact, not because of anything you've done, but because of this gift of God, that you are worth being loved in a way that you've never allowed for yourself. That is a spiritual truth when you allow it, that's got to change your life. Oh, there's been lots of things frightening, you know, I mean, wow, way back there. Lots of things frightening. I mean, I found it quite frightening to give voice to the fact that I believed I was called to be a priest, because at that point in time, I mean, we're really talking the early 80s, so it is a long time. So I keep saying it's a long time ago now. It's a different world that we inhabit. People were saying things like, you know, you women are going to wreck the church and stuff like that. So I think I took some responsibility for, if I dared to give voice to what I believed I was being called to, I would be responsible for breaking, you know, the church. And I, you know, excuse me for thinking I'm the centre of the universe, but it's sort of like it's going to take something bigger than women believing they're called to ministry. In my view, the life of ministry is one where you actually have to trust yourself to this, and it's another of those moments where you say, where all is given and nothing is held back. And with this, you know, being a bishop, that's a place I'm still journeying into. It's like you are, but you're still learning. And I think I'd certainly as a priest come to a place where I actually felt I knew who I was there, and I'm still learning who I am here. But that doesn't change that I believe that this is, that I've been called to ministry. And I was actually believed that when I was 16, so it was when I made the first inquiry